Hello and welcome. In our search for homes around the country, we found Tennessee has some of the best homes we've ever seen. They have a great combination of great houses and land and just unique items. So here we go. So first off, this is there are several groups, and I just had a representation of each group. This is a house of an area in or around Gatlinburg. And so you have the Great Smoky Mountains and Pigeon Forge, not too far from Knoxville, but definitely wooded. And this is, it's just that some of the views are so cool. And this is, your log cabin kind of look. And there was several homes in this category. Some were bigger, but this one just felt more cozy. A lot of the other ones for sale just look like they straight up want you to be a rental property, and they don't expect you to live there. But this one I really like. There was aspects where you could definitely have a family here, and but overall it was just some of the views were spectacular. And you're very close to the Smoky Mountains and Dollywood and Pigeon Forge, and I really liked all this one. I think it had just 5 acres, which is really modest for some of these homes. So there's a whole group of houses. I couldn't get them all on here in that area. This one, we recently visited Chattanooga and loved it. It was up on Lookout Mountain, which is by Rock City, which I highly, highly recommend if you've ever seen those barns. So it's located just around the corner from it, so it's on Lookout Mountain. But it is an older house. So this one was built actually in 1900, but it's just it's a very classic house with the it's been around, so it was built well, but just the views on there are just wonderful. I just really liked it so much. It My wife was not totally the only thing that it was such an old house. It's a little bit compartmentalized, but the way they did it, they tried to open it up best they could in ways, so that didn't really bother me. I mean, you're kind of, the kitchen is cramped, so that's why it was farther down, so it's a lot smaller than some of your modern kitchens. But let's move on to the real kicker, though. I mean, why you get this property are just some of the outside views are just, so it's a great place to see everything. And you have a little landing, so it's not like you're straight on a cliff edge like you're going to fall over. So that is really fun. You have this land. It was just loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. Moving on. So this is another one. This got pushed down a little bit because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's very eastern Tennessee. But the advantage of it is 45 acres. So this is another rustic, not quite so log cabin as the other one, but definitely the interior rustic feel of it. It just had, I like the open areas of it. It was a nice kind of gathering family feel to it. More of a little, still not a big kitchen. So that's why it gets knocked down just a little bit, but it had open land, so it wasn't all just a straight vertical climb. You're kind of more in the valley than on top of the hill, but there's just so much. Oh, that was the other thing. So I had this cool like outdoor gazebo with cooking facilities and eating facilities, and I think that would just be a lot of fun. Plenty of room for your stuff. So that was great. So moving on. This one is just way different. So let's get the bins and move it around. And it was in a good spot because it was kind of halfway between Chattanooga and Knoxville. So again, neither one of those are big metropolitans, but they still can offer different things, and especially if you're a college football fan, you can go up to see a University of Tennessee game, or you pass sight of the World's Fair. But this was a departure, and I think it also had 21 acres. So it had a lot to offer and a lot of spacious grounds and just get away from people. So if that's what you seek, this was definitely it. The interior is, just something out of HGTV. I do like it. I kind of rag on that HGTV a little bit, but I like this a lot. The gray might get to me a little bit, but here's your modern design. It did not have a pool, so that was a little bit of a miss, but very cool, very fun, very sleek. Let me see if it has something in the bottom. Oh, yeah, and they had like all these garden areas that were very nicely done, protected against birds and deer and everything, and so you have plenty of grounds. This could be like your Tennessee Martha Stewart compound, so very cool. Moving on. So this one was located just east of Knoxville, and it's on a good sized lake. So, but the house itself was just a very clean aesthetic. You have your white again, but very shiny. Plenty of light coming into it. And a very modest dock. I mean, the kind of the smallest one out of any of them, but not too much fun. I just liked it. Very fun. This one is okay. So it is located just west of Nashville, and I left out a lot of Nashville stuff because I don't know the neighborhoods. There's a lot of Franklin, exclusive neighborhood in Franklin, Tennessee. But since I don't know the neighborhoods, none of that matters. There's a ton of McMansions around the Nashville area, but none of them too appealing or different. One's just like the other one. This one, for some reason, which also has just shy of 7 acres. The house itself is pretty humble for the price, but for some reason, they have a nice pool, but they have a castle, which I just don't get. It's like its own separate little, place to stay. You can stay in your own private castle, which I don't know if that was a kind of a nod to the in-laws or what. And they have a lot of rocks, a nice fire pit. Love the rocks, and just a huge like Mondo structure to park 2 RVs, I guess, and 4 other cars. So they don't really do too much for that, but it's just the castle's what got me. It just I don't know why, it just cracked me up. And a little pond, because you get, and a hot tub and privacy. So it just was awesome. It's like, if you have money, do something different. And speaking of different, we're going back to Chattanooga, just north of Chattanooga. This house doesn't look too fancy on the outside, and they have a great, I really like the infinity pool on the back with a hot tub. It's a great layout. And they have this little like gazebo on the edge of it. And they just added all these artistic details to this. They just kind of had a vision. They went for it. I even like those curtains. Although I guess they don't want all the furniture to fade, so that's why they have the curtains. But just such a nice view. And I don't know if that is an elevator or what that is, but I'm thinking it's an elevator. But everything in here, like this kitchen, they took a huge chance, and I kind of like it. It's just so different, very spacious, plenty of countertops, plenty of storage, just a great kitchen. Just very, they talk about, Viking or whatever, but this is seriously putting some cash into it. And it has a fireplace outdoors in addition to the infinity pool. It was just so much fun. I really like it when people have their vision, they go for it. And then, oh yes, so it had the entertainment area downstairs with a huge couch, and then like a bar area, and a little viewing area with the plush red. Bless you. They just went for it, and I'm just so impressed by this. And even a little area for dancing, and they even have ladders that go seemingly nowhere. I mean, come on. And then they have this pool table, the purple pool table. It just, it is awesome. The other bar they have in here too, when one entertainment area is not enough, and you know, you have your little disco ball. Just outstanding. Outstanding. So moving on. This one is also nearby Chattanooga, and you can't tell from the street, but I just love this view. It's like you pull up on this house and it feels like a big fancy house, and it just almost looks like something from Dynasty. But here's like the overhead view of it. So you have a nice area where people can pull up and park. So if you had a huge entertainment, or they can come around the back and park, and it just would be so nice. Oh, and like here's the back of it. So, you know, the cars can park in the back. But the big kind of also has a nice pool and this view over the mountain. I don't know why they let that one tree keep growing, but and they have a nice outdoor covered area. It's just great for the sun and the elements, so you can cook in all weather. And so just rolling hills and mountains. And they also, you know, took some design chances, which I appreciate. The big, and now it's kind of more of a downtone kitchen that it fits into it a little bit better than the red, but it kind of flows through it, so you're not just kind of drawn as much to the kitchen. I like the sitting room with all the windows, would just be so much fun. And you could just have your coffee and look out. The view is just so nice. But yet it's not right on, you know, you have a little bit of land, so you're not quite teetering on the edge, which is always very important. So there you go. So, oops. Close it. Didn't mean to. Moving on. This one wasn't my number one, but I had to bump it down. So it is just close to Knoxville, so you have all access to that size city and your Pigeon Forge and the Smoky Mountains, and just a wonderful, you know, like here it is, like just your house, just surrounded by woods. It is just 1.7 acres, not huge, but just view after view of this would just be so spectacular. And they have this hot tub that just looks out forever, and it's on a stable platform, and then they have another room up here where you can just look out forever, a separate little building where everybody can just get up and hang out. And that underneath is the indoor pool, which honestly doesn't look very big. It looks about big enough for one person, but still it is an indoor pool, so you could just float around. So I guess that's cool. Sure. The inside is not real fancy. It was probably used as a rental for a lot. A functional kitchen, you know, plenty of space, plenty of appliances. But I'm just gonna jump around to you know, so like just a little mini entertainment area, extra beds and stuff, but great view, fun area. So this one, I'll zip back up to the top. Okay, this one, it is on a big lake, and so you have plenty of room to play. It's in between Knoxville and Chattanooga, so you kind of have access to both, like an hour away from both. And it'd be just so fun and entertaining to have people here to visit, to swim, and then to go boating, and to go kayaking and canoeing. And it's well under $2 million, so you can buy an RV and store it here. It's got this waterfall that kind of goes down as it heads down to the lake. It's got a nice boat lifts and boat covers, so that keeps your boat safe. So you got this pool with a view out into the water, which is very fun. And the inside is, I like the wood in it, the richness of it. It just had a warmth to it, and I appreciate it. It's just not all sterile, and you can tell it was lived in and loved quite a bit. And it also it has a nice bar in the basement too, which I thought was cool. But then it has this massive garage that can store 2 RVs or semis or whatever, and then you can drive around, and then there's 2 cars under it too. So just a big workplace area to store all your stuff and have lots of fun. And so here's the whole property that, just going down, you have the pool, and then you have like this waterfall, and then you have the boat docks, and it's on just such a great lake. But that's it. So here you go. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. I could have done many more. There was so many other houses on wonderful lakes. Tennessee was just outstanding. So I hope you enjoy. Have a great day or evening. Take care.